Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to a Thursday, August 29th episode of SimWorld Today. I'm JK. I have a very special guest with me today. Marsh is getting married, so wish a congratulations to him real quick. But I'm joined by Siege today. How we doing this morning, Siege?
We're doing great. Love's in the air. I mean, look, anytime you got Mr. and Mrs. Marsh, riding off into the sunset, we're all excited here at SimWorld TV. So it's just a lovely day to be alive.
The SimWorld Hoops family is only getting bigger. But we also have some news going down to Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, it was announced yesterday by head coach Mike Tomlin that Russell Wilson is going to be the QB1 in Pittsburgh this season. Siege, what do you make of that decision?
Steeler Nation, let's ride. Look, I mean, I think we all saw this coming. I think it's been what is expected that Russell Wilson was going to start. Do I think that Russell Wilson will be the starter by the end of the season? No. Could he be? Maybe. I don't know that Justin Fields is that much better of an option, but he's young. Maybe they can, try again with him that the Bears couldn't figure out. Um, Look, I love Russ. Who doesn't love Russ? Let's ride. What a guy. He's more of a meme than a quarterback these days to me. But, maybe this is a new start for him. Maybe this is where he actually hits a, second wind in his career. But if I had to guess, I think Justin Fields gets at least a few starts throughout this season.
I think you said it well yourself. In Pittsburgh with Russell Wilson, he's very clearly a shell of who he used to be, but there's still at least a semblance of talent there, of potential. We saw a little bit of what he is capable of in Denver in an awful situation over the last 2 seasons. In Pittsburgh now, he's got a good running game with Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. He's got a decent O-line. He's throwing the ball to George Pickens. Like you said, I'm sure there is a chance Justin Fields is starting by the end of the year. But right now, Russell Wilson is their clear short-term option. And I don't know if Justin Fields will end up starting the season. Maybe they just let Russ walk in free agency, which could end up being the more effective strategy here, Siege.
Well, look, and that's the thing. You got no trade value on Russ at this point in his career, right? So really, you're gonna let him. You're either gonna sign him again, or you're gonna let him walk, whatever. Justin Fields, on the other hand, you give him a couple starts, maybe he shows out a little. Maybe some desolate team decides to give Justin Fields. This is the most interesting quarterback room I've seen in a while because you got two guys who both used to be very big names. One because he's Russell Wilson, used to go to Super Bowl, stuff like that, big time quarterback. And the other one, just because everyone thought he was going to be really good because he went to the Ohio State. And for some reason, everyone thinks if you go to the Ohio State, you're going to be a stud. So, not the case necessarily for Justin Fields. I still got hope for him. He's on my dynasty fantasy football team. I got him there. I really, he could really make a comeback this year. But, yeah, I'm going to be honest, I'm not very high on the Steelers this year. I don't think I don't think they're going to do much riding, even with Russell Wilson. But, hey, good for Russ. He's got the starting job.
Steelers typically have a penchant for winning 8 or 9 games under Mike Tomlin. I feel like that trend will continue in a stacked division. My hopes aren't that high. But moving on to some more football action, some more excitement in the air. Moving on to SimWorld U football. Week 1 is upon us. What are the most intriguing games of this Week 1 slate, Siege?
Well, I mean, the most intriguing one for me personally is going to be well, all right, I won't go there. I won't go that biased to start off. But this Clemson Georgia game, I believe they're opening up the season. Am I correct on that? But for me, I'm excited to see Alabama play Western Kentucky, but that's just because that's my team. But that Georgia Clemson game, I'm hoping Clemson can really give them a run in that game. Do I think they will? No. But a lot of people probably didn't think Georgia Tech was going to give Florida State a run. I did. So yeah, that Georgia Clemson game is the one that I'm most looking forward to. But we got a lot of good games. I actually think this Penn State West Virginia game is going to be nice. I would love to see West Virginia return to being a relevant team at all. So I'm going to be eyes on that one, hoping that the Mountaineers can make a relevant comeback.
I wonder if the people remember when West Virginia had Will Greer and they were putting up 35 points in Big 12 games.
Or Tavon Austin. Let's not forget about Tavon Austin.
Geno Smith and Tavon Austin.
Yes, the best highlight tape of all time.
Absolutely. But if we're talking some of the most exciting games in this upcoming SimWorld U football slate, I think what we have to talk about is LSU and USC. Both have new quarterbacks stepping in under center. Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. They're SWFL bound now. Both teams are starting very fresh. Miller Moss really showed people what he is capable of in USC's bowl game back in December. And I think there's a lot of potential there. And LSU is another one. And it's USC's first game in the Big Ten. They're kicking things off with a bang. And as for LSU, they're never to be taken lightly. They're one of the most marquee SimWorld Hoops football programs in the entire country, and they show that year in and year out. And I think that that game's going to be great. And I think, like you said, Alabama, Western Kentucky, the first game of the Kalen DeBoer era in Tuscaloosa, have to have that checked on your schedule.
Yeah, and don't forget a little battle in Florida. Miami traveling to the Swamp, take on the Gators. I think that'll be interesting. I think Miami, a lot of people are high on this year, but you play in the Swamp, you never know. It's gonna be an exciting slate. I think we're all excited for it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see who's actually gonna be as good as advertised.
I I think both Billy Napier and Mario Cristobal, both head coaches in that game, are actually on the hot seat. And Miami's got a new quarterback coming in Cam Ward. So are the expectations as high as they should be down in Coral Gables? I guess we will find out. But back to the SWFL now. There have been a little bit of contract concerns with Jamar Chase. He's been holding in. He's been not practicing. Zach Taylor said yesterday that he is going to play after he did practice week one, after he did practice Sunday. There's been a lot of moving parts to the situation. He wants the money that CeeDee Lamb got, the money that Justin Jefferson got. Will Jamar Chase get his big money contract despite having 2 years left on his rookie deal?
I don't know if he'll get it this year. I mean, they might as well go ahead and pay him. They're gonna have to pay him, right? So to me, pay him or trade him at this point. But if I'm the Bengals, there's no world where I'm not gonna pay this guy, because not only are you losing him, but I mean you're losing, you know, your quarterback, Joe Shiesty, your guy, the guy everyone loves so much. I don't like Joe Shiesty. I don't like Joe Burrow. But if you're the Bengals, you probably do really like him. So, and to me, this is just step one of keeping Joe Burrow happy, keeping him around, keeping him successful. Go ahead and pay the man. Go ahead and pay the man. Like you said, he's got 2 years left, but don't risk him sitting out just to, wait a year or two to give him that deal, because you're going to have to give it to him. He's probably not going to play without the deal. Um, but even if he does, go ahead and pay him. Get it out of the way. You know what you're going to pay him. Pay him. Pay the man. Pay the man.
I think we also have to consider the longer they wait, the higher the price tag is going to get.
Yep.
And that's why they really have to tread lightly here in Cincinnati. I understand the whole T. Higgins situation where he wanted to get traded and he wanted big money. There's no reason in the modern SWFL to be paying two receivers top flight money. I understand paying Jamar Chase, and he deserves every penny of that probably $35 million a year he's going to end up getting. But I can't justify paying T. Higgins if you're going to end up paying Jamar Chase all that, because Higgins is your wide receiver too.
I mean, he's a really good wide receiver too. He's a top 3 wide receiver too in the SWFL. But I mean, I'm with you. I don't think, why would you pay him over paying Jamar Chase? I don't see a world where that makes sense. So if they miss out and Jamar Chase walks or goes somewhere else, I think they have truly done themselves a disservice. This duo they have of him and Joe Burrow, as much as I dislike them, they are cool. They are really good. And I mean, they're that whole franchise right now. They are. They're the whole franchise. What's your franchise worth to you? Put a price tag on that and pay it to Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase is what, top 3 wide receiver in the SWFL. You can't let a guy walk like that so quickly. I understand you want to pinch pennies, and I understand you want to wait because you do have that time. But the longer you wait, the worse it's going to get. I think this really kind of is a little bit of a non-issue. I think Jamar Chase is going to get his money. I think it will all end up working out. I think he'll obviously play, but I think that there is a little bit of cause for concern because of the fact that you're losing probably, in terms of pure rapport, the best quarterback wide receiver duo in the SWFL.
Yeah, 100%. There's no reason to even risk that.
I will agree with you right there, Siege. And that's the show for you guys today. Tomorrow on Friday, we will have the Blaze Man. We'll have Rick Blaze back on the show. So, and we're gonna have Marsh back, presumably next week or the week after. We don't know. Congratulations to him. But this is a Thursday episode of SimWorld today, August 29th. If you want to come back, don't forget to see the game and be the game. Stay tuned.
This has been a presentation of SimWorld.